Hello everybody, welcome to, well, it's not really Ready Steady Bake. Unfortunately with lockdown we can't do Ready Steady Bake and hand out packs of food for folk. But I thought as it was coming up for Burns Day, I would share with you one of the treats that I sometimes make when we've got friends and family round for a Burns celebration. Of course, there's not going to be friends and family around for Burns this year, but what I'm going to make is something that can actually pop into the freezer as well, and you can just eat it gradually. So the ingredients that you need for this is a pack of puff pastry. So this is just ready-made, ready-rolled puff pastry. And the other thing that you need is haggis. So I've got two haggis here. I've got an ordinary meat haggis, but I've also got a vegetarian haggis because not everybody eats meat. And actually, I have to say, I love the taste of vegetarian haggis. So that's the main ingredients. You'll also need to have an egg. That's just for painting the top of the pastry. You'll need to have a baking tray and some greaseproof paper on it, or if you're like me, I've got this special plastic paper that you buy and you can reuse again and again. You'll need that for your baking tray. And you'll also need a flat surface that you can cut your pastry, because what we're going to make is haggis sausage rolls. They are delicious, I have to say. And the other thing is, if you don't have haggis, but you do have just ordinary sausages, you can take the sausage meat out of your sausage, just squeeze it out of the sausage skin, and you can use that instead. So I've got a clear space here in my kitchen, and I'm actually going to put down a big chopping board. I'm putting that down on the work surface of the kitchen because I have really cleaned that very, very well. I've also washed my hands, so I'm nearly ready to go. So I'm just going to pause a moment because I need to move the camera a little bit so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So you'll see what I'm doing, but you'll not always see my face. But that doesn't matter. So let me pause just now. So the first thing that we're going to do is just open our pack up of the pastry. And this is great pastry for using when you are not very good at making pastry. I'm not very good at making pastry. It comes all wrapped up in greaseproof paper, and you want to leave it on that paper, and you're just going to unroll it on your hard surface. Just stretch it out onto your hard surface. Now, you can use a knife to cut the bits, but I actually use a pizza cutter. I find that's just quick and easy. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut a strip about 1 inch wide, and you're going to cut it down the pastry. And then you're going to do another one. And another one. And you just keep going until you've cut the pastry into strips. And you can do thicker ones if you want. I just always do smallish ones as sort of finger cocktail size sausage rolls. So I've opened up my pack of haggis, and it's really important your hands are really, really clean to do this because you're going to be handling the food in your actual hands directly. And what you're just going to do is you're going to break off a little bit of the haggis, make it into a little ball and sit it on the first strip. And then you're just going to wrap it up. You're going to roll it up like that. And then you're going to get your knife. Right. And when you cut it, you're going to cut it at a sort of diagonal line across, like that. So it's quite a big overlap, and then you're just going to stick it down. Pat it together and pop that onto your baking tray with this bit usually at the top. So that's our first one. And then you just keep going. You just take your haggis, you squeeze it together, you roll it up, you cut your bit off, keep on squeezing it and put it onto your tray. You keep going until you've used up all the bits in that strip. There's often a wee bit left over at the end of each strip. I usually get about 3 sausage rolls out of one strip. So you will find that there's a little bit of wastage, and you just pop that at the end. You go into your next roll, squeeze it all together, roll it up, cut off, pop it on your baking tray. Actually, I'm going to turn, I did say keep that bit at the top. Actually, today I'm going to put it on the bottom because I think I'll do a little mark on the top just with the knife. And I'll just keep on going until it's all been prepared and cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to pause it just now, and then I'll come back once I've got them all ready. So I have got all my sausage rolls now onto the tray, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crack an egg and mix up. So I'm just going to do that for a moment, and I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be back in a second. I'm all ready with my egg. I had to pause there a minute because my dog had decided to come in and join me. So till he's away, I'm just going to beat the egg up, and then with my little pastry brush, I'm just going to paint the tops. There we go. And this will help the pastry to be a lovely golden colour. Done. If you don't have egg, you can actually use milk to paint the top of your pastry. There we go. And then I'm just going to do a couple of wee cuts on the top, just to make them look professional. You can, if you like, scatter black pepper on the top. If you're making these with sausage meat from a sausage, it is nice having the pepper on it. Because the haggis is quite spicy anyway, I don't put it on the top of these little rolls. These little haggis rolls are spicy enough. And I've just used the ordinary haggis. I haven't used any of the vegetarian haggis on this occasion. And that is them ready to go into the oven. So the oven, I usually have it at about 200 degrees and pop them in. And then it's a case of watching and looking to see how they're doing. Different ovens do cook these in different lengths of time. It usually takes about 15 minutes, but your oven might be fiercer than my oven, and it might cook it a wee bit more quickly. Or it might be like the oven in the church, where the oven cooks things really, really slowly. So pop them in about 200 degrees, and then just every 5 minutes, just have a wee look, have a wee check. If they're starting to look really, really brown on the top, and they've only been in the oven about 10 minutes, I would turn your temperature down to 180. So I'm going to pause again and I'll show you them when they come out the oven. I'm just going to let you look at the sausage rolls. This has been about 15 minutes and I'm just going to pop them back into the oven for another few minutes. I just feel they're not quite golden enough. But if you were wanting to maybe pop some of these into the freezer, this would actually be quite a good colour for them, because then you could freeze them, and if you were going to eat them at a later time, you could pop them back into the oven and they would get a bit browner. But I'm going to keep these ones for eating fresh, so I'm going to pop them back into the oven. So they've had another 5 minutes and that's them out of the oven now. And you can see they're lovely golden brown. So all we need to do is take them off the tray, pop them into a plate. And that is the delicious Burns Night Haggis sausage rolls. Give it a shot. I hope you find them as tasty as I do. So, I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made cheating sausage rolls. I think I might just pop the kettle on, make a cup of coffee and have one of these. I'll try to do some more baking things over the next few weeks until we get out of lockdown. Enjoy!